I'm going to give you the do's and don'ts that will keep your voice intact anytime, any day. I'm going to start with the don'ts, then I'll go to the do's. First thing you want to run away from is engaging in a serious argument. As a voiceover artist, you don't want to argue with anybody. You don't want to argue over any case. I mean, what's your business with Arsenal will beat Man U and or so on and so forth? There are a lot of arguments out there you want to run away from. As a voiceover artist, run away from arguments, because there's no how that you argue with people that you will not shout on top of your voice. And pitching really matters in voiceover. If you have engaged in too many arguments, you would have lost your voice in the process. So run away from too much of argument. Now, another advice that I would like to give, or the don'ts, is make sure that you don't stay in a noisy environment. Now, the research has shown to us that anybody that lives in a very noisy environment, like those people that live in the market or where maybe there's too much of generators and some, all kinds of noises around you, it will make you to always talk on top of your voice, or you make you to want to pitch up anytime. You would not even realize, because the decibel of your air will determine, the pitch of your voice. So if you want to actually be a pro, like a professional voiceover artist, stay away from a noisy environment. That's one thing that will keep your voice intact anytime, any day. Another thing that I would like to tell you, as a voiceover artist, you must run away from cold thing. Oh, the weather is very hot, so no doubt about it. But as a voiceover artist, that's your treasure. That's what you're selling. Run away from cold water every time, anytime, just anytime you want to drink cold water. Of course, you've been staying under, the weather is cold, you have AC in your house, aircon everywhere, in your car, and so on and so forth, and yet you're still drinking cold water. That would definitely damage your voice. So run away from it. Another thing that I'd like to mention as a voiceover artist, you need to resist some things that will make your voice to go cracky. Drinking too much of alcohol will make your voice to be damaged. Research has shown us that. And if you are the type that smoke cigarettes or smoke weed just before you go into the studio, believe you me, you will be doing very well doing that just before, with time. But over time, you will realize that your voice will begin to lose its value, the texture, and before you grow old, you have lost all the texture of your voice completely. So stay away from alcohol, stay away from cigarettes. Another thing that I'd like to advise is, if you want to do a voiceover, for instance, you need to run away from eating too much of junks. Yes, it's not even good to your health, when we talk about the body system generally. But if you are eating too much of junks, you will realize that you have remnants of those things in your mouth. And, when you have, some particles in your mouth, let's say you've been eating too much of granite, pizza, and so on and so forth, over time, you realize that some of those things will be in your mouth. And if you're just called upon to come and voice any script, those things would not allow the mouth apparatus to work, effectively. So run away from eating too much of junk.